Hi there, my name's Kate with Quitting the Quick Fix, and I just wanted to jump on here today and have a little chat about back to school with essential oils. So it's that time of year where everything is all a buzz. We're trying to get back into routine. Some of us finding it a little bit harder than others. Me, and we're really having to up our game to make sure that we can set our kids up for success, the social kind, the emotional kind, and the academic kind, and even the physical kind, for keeping them healthy. So that's a really big thing for us as parents, that we want to make sure that our kids are geared up for success. Okay, and that's where something, I guess I've been using essential oils for 18 months, maybe even more now, and they're coming to every part of our life, and the back to school is definitely a big one for me. This year I've gone from my previous life of being a teacher to becoming a parent, having 3 little boys running around at home, and then this year I've got my firstborn has actually started school, which is prep here in Queensland, and it's a big deal. It's the first week was great, novelty was high, excitement was high, everything was going well. But this week, the reality has hit home a little bit, and he's feeling a little bit more tired and emotional. So, just finding all these different ways to be able to use the oils. And so I'm experimenting, testing a few things out for myself. And I wanted to share some of the things that I've found, some of the things that I've gleaned from other people who have had a lot more experience in kids at school for longer and using oils for longer. And hopefully that will be helpful for you. And so I had a class on this on Wednesday night, and we had this beautiful location down at the boat shed in Currumbin, and it was a fantastic location and event. But you know how you get to the end of something, you're like, oh, I wish I mentioned that, or I wish I could, have my do-over. Well, this is my do-over, so it works out well for those of you who weren't able to make it on the night, or who wanted to be able to get that information, but were out of in a different town and that kind of thing. So we try to keep this to about 15 or 20 minutes. And see what we can cover in that time. So here we go, essential oils, back to school. So here's the thing, and I mentioned it before, what our goals are and what our priorities as mums, as parents, as teachers even. When we're thinking about essential oils for back to school, we're thinking about our kids. We're thinking about what we can do to help them, which oils are going to be great for them. But I've got a little news flash here for you. And if you get my emails, you'll be already tracking with where I'm going. But it actually starts with us. So it's a lot of responsibility, but it's so true. The success of the day, the week, the year even, we have a lot to do with that, and we have a lot of responsibility there, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, but there's a lot of things we can do to be proactive and help with that. And essential oils come into it in a big way. So a few of the things that I have been learning and trying and implementing, and I'm not fantastic at this because planning and organization are not my strong suits in life, but I know how important it is for this year to be able to get ourselves organized. And even then is when the essential oils are starting to come in. So I've got a few notes that I'm just going to look at. So excuse me when I'm looking down. But there's 2 points, I guess. 2 keys, I guess, that mums or parents can take on board to be able to help with this. And that is that, number 1, planning is key, and number 2, self-love is key. So I made a few points that really our week starts on Sunday. Our day starts the night before, and our morning starts before the kids. These are sort of 3 key things that have nothing to do with essential oils per se, but they are going to really help with the year. And the way that essential oils can come into that is about, okay, so if we're thinking about Sunday, preparing for the week, there's a whole lot of things we can do with food prep and with getting our schedule sorted and all of that kind of stuff. And essential oils are fantastic in cooking. I actually shared a recipe for spearmint chocolate chip cookies, and I use peppermint because I only just got spearmint recently, and peppermint works fantastically, but we can use them that way. It's super safe, a great way to flavor these foods that's not going to be artificial. It's not going to have anything that'll interrupt with our kids' ability to be on their A game. When we think about the day starting the night before, I love, once the kids are in bed, I'm going to be putting a load of washing on. I'm going to be doing some tidying up, and essential oils come into those things. So I use this essential oils actually in the laundry. So I love a combination of lemon and lavender actually to give it a little bit of an aroma, I guess, or to help with that cleaning power. And if it's nighttime and I don't have time, I only bought 2 school shirts. I don't know why. I bought 2 school shirts, so I'm washing every day. And I need to get them dry for the next day. And so I've used the dryer a little bit. And have you seen the wool dryer balls? They're amazing. And you can add a couple of drops of essential oil to that. to help to give those a really good aroma as well, without any dryer sheets or fabric softener or anything. So it's a really good way to use it. Cleaning, again, you can use the essential oils in that. I love using lemon, vinegar and water. It's such a simple all-purpose spray combination. Or there's this great oil that we have, an oil blend called On Guard, and On Guard is fantastic for all its antibacterial properties. So it's a really good one to use in cleaning. And we actually have like a cleaning concentrate that makes it super easy to use. Our morning starts before the kids. Now, for me, this is what it looks like. I'll get up in the morning and I'll actually make a little capsule, and I'll put this oil in it, which I don't have here, of course. That's called Smart and Sassy. And that's just something that I know I'm doing for myself to be able to get started on the right foot. So I'll have a little, empty capsule, like pill capsule, that I'll put 4 or 5 drops in and have that first thing in the morning. And then I'm going to follow that with just 1 or 2 drops of lemon essential oil in a warm glass of water. And that's just really helping my body to detox, start the day off right, get my metabolism going. And I know that I'm doing something for me, which makes me more inclined to be grateful or thankful or feeling more selfless when I'm get into mum mode. The next thing I'll do, if I'm actually up before the kids, is try to get the diffuser on. So whether it's the fact that I'm straight into the kitchen getting breakfast and making lunches and stuff, having a diffuser in the kitchen is going to really sort of help with that mood. If it's that the kids are having trouble waking up, I wish that was a problem. Mine are usually up around 5 a.m., but I've got a clock in their room that they are not allowed to get up, not allowed to come out of their room before 6 a.m. So it just buys me a little bit of time to get some stuff done before they're at me straight away. So in that time, I'll get the diffuser going. I might even get the diffuser going in their room if it's not going to wake them up, or even if they're just waking up. I love putting a combo of peppermint and wild orange because it's going to be invigorating, uplifting, and get them started for the day. And one of the things that I love about essential oils is we sort of associate it first and foremost with aromatherapy. And in this sense, it really works because every smell sort of has an association, something that we, the smell of cut grass takes me back to my childhood and summer days. And so different aromas can bring back these memories and these neural connections and make us feel a certain way. And so it's the same thing. We can actually create new ones. And so if we want the kids to be able to wake up feeling positive and energetic, then diffusing peppermint and wild orange is a fantastic way to be able to start that kind of connection, to make that connection and keep it going. So in the kitchen, in the kids' room, or if I'm doing really well and I'm up and having a little bit of time to myself, I'll do some exercise. I might rub some peppermint on my chest or the back of my neck, even just inhale it, and that gets my, really opens the airways and gets me going with exercise. If I'm being able to sit down and have some quiet time, I'm not a coffee drinker, but most adults, I'm sure, would be able to insert coffee time for themselves, having the diffuser going with a blend that's going to be really nourishing to the soul. So one that I love is frankincense and wild orange, just 2 drops of each, and it's a really beautiful combo in the diffuser. Another really good one is actually frankincense, wild orange, and lavender. Really nice. Or even just easy air and lavender, sort of kind of clear the airways. It's going to clear up the fog in the brain. It's got that lavender that's sort of just, really calming and nourishing, which, it can get crazy before school, let's face it. So there's some things that you can do first thing in the morning. What else can I mention about mums? That's something else that I actually do in the morning. And I guess I have a bit of a routine that I follow, and that makes, using the oil something that I incorporate into my everyday life and keeps it so it's about that proactivity, which is so much more important than acting off the back foot. And that is actually some supplements that doTERRA does, and it's called the Lifelong Vitality kit or pack. And it's 3 different, as the Microplex Food Nutrient Complex, the Cellular Vitality Complex, and the Omega one. And I have a combination of those 3, which is just great for making sure that my body is got everything in that it needs to be working at its capacity. And I really can tell when I haven't taken it for a few days because my energy starts to slump, and so does my mood. So there's some great research on these supplements that just show how fantastic they are in supporting the body holistically, because it's very whole food based. So it's got this bioactivity where we're able to absorb the nutrients into our body, exactly the ones that we need, all this sort of stuff that really is important. Something else that I love to use, that I pour it on all over the place, is this oil called Balance. And Balance is an oil that is does exactly what it says. It's it balances you out emotionally. It's the grounding blend. It's actually great first thing in the morning to put a drop on each big toe and be able to just start that before you put your feet on the ground, for that actual grounding, like when you put your feet on dirt, and the way that can sort of work in your body to be able to help just center it and be able to, it actually works on a more of a cellular level to be able to do great stuff, but I'm not super up on it. But Balance is a fantastic oil. I actually like, after my shower, I'll put a lotion on. We have a doTERRA. Let's see if I have it here. We have an unscented doTERRA body lotion. It looks like this. And you can add whatever oils you like to it. So I love actually adding Balance and either Wild Orange, or there's another one called Citrus Bliss, which is the invigorating blend. So you can sort of, I'm really trying to go for that uplifting, balanced, positive, calm feeling throughout the day, because my kids drive me crazy. I need it. 5, 3, and 1, 3 boys. So I'm sure there's people out there who have it a lot worse, but that's my capacity at the moment for sure. So there's just a few things that I like to do as mum to be able to get myself in the right place so that I can fill myself up so that I'm ready to give and pour out for the rest of the day when there's so much that I have to do for everybody else in the family. It really does start with us. And it's important to mention even in a back to school sense. So now let's talk about what you're probably most interested in and what had you most fascinated, I guess, or curious about this topic with back to school is the immune system. Because let's face it, kids have gone from a relatively controlled environment of whatever you've done over the school holidays. They've had 6 or 8 or even more weeks where you really, haven't been exposed to so much. And then all of a sudden, I know in the school that we're at, there are 150 kids in prep. So that's 6 classes of kids that are still learning proper hygiene, are still learning how to use the, toilet properly and all of this kind of stuff. And we're sending them out there into the world and hoping for the best. Well, I really suggest that it's important to be starting at home and being proactive and doing what we can to be able to help our kids stay healthy. So it starts with a really foundational base of nutrition, and essential oils are, they're fantastic, but unless you have that sort of strong base, they're not going to be doing as much as they can do in the body. And just like I mentioned with the adult supplements, there's actually some kid supplements. I'll show them to you quickly. There's these, they're called the A to Z chewable, and this is a brand new one. My pack just arrived, and so they've got this, they're all sealed up. Sorry, I should have got that off beforehand. And it's got the pill cotton, grossness. But inside, they have these little guys. So this is what it looks like. It's got a little smiley face on it, and it's a chewable. And there's no sugar added. There's nothing like that. They can come in either a strawberry or a watermelon flavor. These are the watermelon flavor ones, actually. And they can just chew them. It's a little bit like a candy. We call ours America Lollies because we had them in the lead up to traveling over to the States last September. And they kept the kids really healthy the whole way through and gave us that good start. The other one that goes with it is called IQ Mega. It's a omega-3 oil, and it's a liquid. You can see it inside there, and it's got the aroma of that wild orange. There's no fishy taste to it, so it's really good to use. I actually, my kids, it's sort of a little bit thick. It's not as thick as some, but they don't really love the consistency of it. So I haven't been able to get it to them just having a mouthful in a spoon. But if I add it to a smoothie, we do green smoothies probably 3 mornings a week. I can add a tablespoon to their smoothies, and they love having it that way. So we sort of do like a cup of frozen berries, a frozen banana, a cup of like kale or something like that, and then some ice and coconut water, and blend it all up and add some of this. And it's a really nice orange berry flavor that they love. So that's something. And then the third one comes in these little sachets. It's called PB Assist, which is a probiotic, and it's micro-encapsulated, so it doesn't need to be refrigerated. So it's super handy to take on the road. And this is 1 serve, and it's like a powder. It's kind of like a sherbet powder. You can literally take this off. And I'll be honest, if I'm sitting at the computer at 10 o'clock at night, sometimes I might get one of these out and just put it in like this. It just tastes like a sherbet stick. It's really sweet. It's got the sort of strawberry watermelon flavor. But you can also add it to water. You can add it to whatever drink they're having, or to smoothies and stuff. But yeah, the kids tend to love it just like that. Okay, and when you buy all of these, they come in sort of a 1 month supply. So that's a really good foundational way to start, of having that good nutrition and the supplementation to make sure that everything's working at that level, and then making sure they're active, they're getting good sleep. So it's not just about teaching them how to wash their hands and how to cover their, their noses properly when they're sneezing. It starts so much before that. So there are a few other things that I would want to mention in there though, from a proactive point of view. And the oil that is just going to straight away come to mind, and I mentioned it before, is this oil On Guard, and I think it's back to front there. But this oil is amazing. It's a blend of 5 essential oils, and that includes, what are they? Wild orange, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And those oils are super high in antioxidants, so they're going to be working to be able to get rid of all the bad stuff in your body and keep it healthy. And it's something that you can also use if the kids or yourself do get under the weather a little bit. So use it proactively. I love to make it into a roller bottle. Let me show you a roller bottle. A roller bottle just like this, where it has like that little perfume bit on the end that you can just roll. And for the kids, I put about 10 drops of the On Guard oil. I fill the rest up with coconut oil. And then every night when we're going to bed, I get them to stick their feet up in the air like a dead cockroach, and I rub it all over both feet. And then they rub them together kind of like a seal, clapping their hands. And then they're ready to go. They go to bed for the night. In the morning, I will roll this up and down their spine and the back of their neck as they're about to walk out the door, just to give them that little coated protection before they head off to school. I actually use the On Guard to make a hand sanitizer spray, which is just water or a little tiny bit of coconut oil and the drops of the On Guard. And I put that in a little spray bottle and just spray it for hands. I keep it in my bag so it's ready to go at all times. Older kids would be able to keep that as well, so when they're coming in from lunch that they can spray their hands or something to be able to, just keeping on to that hygiene, keeping the bugs away. So the immune system, what can I tell you about that? This time of year is going to be a really important time to start getting onto it. And we're already into the school year, but starting a couple of weeks before the school year started back would have been absolutely ideal, but better late than never, hey? So what can I tell you that would be super important? There's a couple of great combos that are really great of the essential oils for supporting immunity. And one of the first ones that's really simple is lavender, lemon, and peppermint. That didn't work so well, did it? Lavender, lemon, and peppermint. These 3 oils, we sort of talk about them as seasonal relief. They're great for allergies and being able to support that. But they're all 3 of them really high with antibacterial properties, and there's some of the antiseptic properties, things like that are just going to really help. And they smell great. What a great one to put in the diffuser. Ooh, going back to the On Guard and diffuser. I love, I go to pick the kids up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I will put the diffuser on with some On Guard in it just as I'm leaving the house. And then when we get home, I know that all of that goodness is in the air, so that it's helping to support, it's helping to kill any of the airborne pathogens that the kids are bringing into the home. And it's just purifying the air and cleansing it. So it's a great one to be able to use in the diffuser as well. Let's see, what else would I mention? There's a few, oh great, tea tree, also known as melaleuca, tea tree essential oil. We talked about this on Wednesday night as being fantastic for preventing head lice or treating head lice, and I haven't had to deal with that yet, but I did make up a head lice prevention spray, and this has got in it a squirt of conditioner and then filled pretty much up with water, and I've got in it 8 drops of tea tree, lavender, clove, and rosemary. And you could just do lavender and tea tree if they're the ones you have, or just tea tree, but that was what I saw a recipe and I liked the smell of it, and I'm like, let's give it a go. And so that's one that I've made up to be able to help deal with head lice. So tea tree is your go-to one for that. Another way that I like using the oils to boost immunity, the great thing about using like a roller bottle that I just showed you before, kids can be super independent using them. I've dropped them on the ground, and my baby tries to put them in his mouth with the lid on, and they're pretty indestructible. So they're a great way to be able to use the benefit of the oils when the kids can be independent. They can roll it on their own feet or roll it on their back. Older kids could probably take it to school as well. Younger kids, I keep a kit of rollers in my handbag that I use for all different scenarios. So they're just a fantastic thing to have on board. When sickness does hit, however, you want to be able to up your game and have the oils as a first line of defense. So using the oils as a first line of defense is a fantastic way. I love using a combo of Easy Air and lavender in the diffuser at night to be able to just open the airways, so nice clear airways and calming feeling. Easy Air is a fantastic one to use when the kids do start to get a few respiratory issues, so a cough or a sniffly nose or something like that. Easy Air is a great one to have on hand. Digestin for when tummies, so either nervous tummies or upset tummies or food that's not really sitting too well, Digestin is a great one to use. And all of these, especially with kids, I just use in a roller bottle diluted, or you can just add it to a little bit of any oil that you have at home and rub it straight where you need it. So the Easy Air on the chest or on the rib cage, for this one straight into the belly button and around the tummy. Or you can put it on the bottom of the feet as well, where it's less sensitive skin. Oregano is an oil that I don't use every day, but I love it when I have it on hand because it's kind of like nature's antibiotic. And so when the sore throats come and things like that, if the kids are old enough to handle it, I will put 2 drops of lemon and 1 drop of oregano in a little glass and get them to gargle that because that can really help support the throat. Or I'll make up a spray that is just on garden water to spray into the mouth, or just use with some oil on the outside of the throat, and that's really helps to support that. What else can I mention with immunity? I think you've got a great bit to go on there. There's really every oil, because the way that essential oils are made, the purpose of essential oils, they are the lifeblood of plants. So they work in plants to be able to protect them. And they have all of their, going to be antifungal, they're going to be anti-mold. I think that's the same thing as fungal. I don't know. It's going to help to keep all of the predators away. So peppermint's fantastic for keeping ants away. I use peppermint in the garden around when you're growing veggies, that same concept, that it's good for keeping the bad things away, attracting the good things to it, and going to work like that. So it's a similar thing with essential oils and the way that they work in our body. Super natural, super effective, and the reason they're effective is because the cells in our body are really similar to the cells in a plant, and so they assimilate really well into our bodies. We accept them well. So let's talk a little bit about immunity, and then the last one I wanted to talk about is emotions. So I know both parents and kids can have a lot of anxious feelings at the start of the year. There's the new teachers, there's the separation, there's friendship groups. There's a lot of different things that kids are dealing with and that we're dealing with as a family. And so how can oils help to support that? I had a great email where I got to interview Dr. Rian Pronk-Scholes, and she has some fantastic suggestions about resources to use. So I'd love it if you even just drop me a message and I can send that through to you because it's really worth finding out. But here are a few things as far as oils are concerned. That balance oil can work really well for kids and for adults. This oil, I actually love putting it, making some Play-Doh to be able to have that quality time with the kids after school, because sometimes they just need to defrag and just feel part of the family again, get back into family mode, after school mode. So adding lavender to Play-Doh, great for when you're trying to find out what they were up to for the day, because if you're like my kid, you don't find out any information about how school went for the day. So lavender, oil of communication, can help to open up those communication lines, feel safe, and share how the day went. Balance, that grounding. You know how kids sometimes, they can be the perfect angel at school and then they come home. I like to call it the public angel home devil syndrome, where they know that home is a safe place and so they can just let it all out. And sometimes that can result in these big outbursts or these emotional sort of tantrums or things that they've got going on. And so balance is a really good one for that. You could use it in the diffuser. You can make up a roller. They call the combination, and this is the one that I love to put in my lotion, they call the combination of balance and citrus bliss monster juice, so that it tames the beast. So this is one that I love as just a perfume or a scented lotion for me, but apparently I've got a big beast to tame. So that's some oils that you can use there. As far as some other things that we're talking about are frankincense. I haven't mentioned this oil yet, but frankincense is a powerhouse. This one is actually a really great one for immunity as well because it's so high in all the antis, and it works really fantastically on a cellular level. So to work inside, even so to work inside for that physical health, but then on an emotional level, it goes through that blood-brain barrier, so it has this fantastic effect on our emotional health and also all the brain health. So frankincense is one that I really highly recommend for anxious feelings. Mixing it with lavender is a great combination. I actually love the combination of this wild orange and lavender, which I think I mentioned before, but that's a fantastic one for just calming and uplifting. When we talk about, I mentioned before about the smell and aligning with memories or being able to bring comfort. That's sort of what I would like to, I guess, have you think about right now, is how the essential oils can be, you can use that aroma to be able to help make that connection between home and school. So if they have a favorite toy and they're going to daycare, if you put a drop of lavender on that because lavender is something that they enjoy at home, then that can be something that can bring them comfort during the day. Or if they're wearing their school shirt and a little bit of a drop of wild orange, because they're not, these oils aren't oily, they're going to get absorbed pretty quickly, so they won't make oil stains all over your clothes. But a drop of wild orange on the collar might be something that, it's just a really simple thing that kids can do, but can give them that comfort during the day and remind them of home or remind them of you. You might even wear the same oil yourself that day, so it can really help with that separation and that connection there. Now let's talk about study skills, because gearing back up, they've had a lot of time off where they've been doing their own thing, and it's hard to gear back up into focusing, being on task for long periods of time and getting work done. So there are essential oils that can really help with that. There's a particular blend that we have that's called In Tune, and it's made up as a roller bottle, and this has got some really hard-hitting, top-notch oils in it, like sandalwood and patchouli and frankincense and ylang-ylang and Roman chamomile. And this is one that I think smells... it's really quite a nice smell, but it's quite strong. For kids, I probably would take this and, because it hasn't been diluted at all, so I'd make it into 3 and put like a third in each one and fill it up with coconut oil so they can use that, maybe one to take to school, one to use at home, and one for backup or something like that. But this is a great oil to help with focusing and being able to zone in on what actually needs to be done to stay focused on the one task. So I've heard great results of parents sending it in and teachers rolling it just even on the back of the neck when it's time to come back in from lunch for kids to focus. And it really helps kids with that need of that little bit of learning support, have learning difficulties, or have trouble focusing and concentrating. Much simpler than that, though, as a great place to start and a much more cost-effective way to start, is just lemon essential oil. Lemon's an oil of focus and can really help to, when you've got that mental fog happening, to just give you that little uplift. Peppermint and wild orange. I've mentioned wild orange a few times. This is an oil that you don't, we have kits that have the top 10 oils, the most popular, the most versatile oils, and orange isn't included in that. But when people enroll with a kit from me, I give them one of these oils because I just find it so handy and goes with lots of different things. So peppermint and wild orange is a fantastic one for lifting that mental fog and helping to focus and concentrate as well. So what else can I tell you? I guess I'll just show you a few things that I like to use, and mine's just turned off. I'll show you. No, it hasn't. It's still going. So this is the, can I get it all the way over? This is the doTERRA diffuser, and it just looks like this. I've actually got this really nice combo going in there at the moment. What should I put in? I put juniper berry, grapefruit, bergamot, and ylang-ylang. I'm such a ylang-ylang fan at the moment. It's a great one. But that's a diffuser, and that is a great thing that every home should have because it's a great way to share the benefits of the oils around the whole family, and means that you can really safely distribute them. Have it going at night time. It's got that night light, works as a night light as well. Fantastic. Roller bottles, which we mentioned. Here's something that I love using. I keep it in my handbag. and my kids are too young to have it for themselves yet, but this is just a keychain where you can put little sample amounts of the oils that you like. So I love putting in there some of my citrus oils that I like adding to water or sparkling water when I go out, so I'm not tempted to order a soft drink. But that's a fantastic thing to use. What else did I mention? Anything? Yes, we have inhalers, just where you can add a drop to it and just take the lid off and just have a good sniff of it that way. But I think that's quite a bit of information, and I've definitely gone longer than 15 or 20 minutes. But I'm just going to finish up by sharing how you can actually get these oils in your own home, because I've talked about quite a few different oils and quite a few different scenarios, and there's a lot of information there, but hopefully it's something that inspires you and makes you think, yeah, this is something that I can do, something that I would, I know will really benefit my family and will actually make me feel like a superstar mom, because I've got this toolkit that is at home ready for me to use and can be my first line of defense for when things happen in our family. And the top 10 oils that I've mentioned, and I'll say what they are again. So we've got lavender, peppermint, lemon, tea tree, oregano, frankincense. So they're 6 of the top 10 oils, and they're what we call single oils because they haven't been blended with anything. Then we've also got Breathe, as it's called in the States, or Easy Air, as it's called in Australia. Digestin for the tummies. On Guard, which I've mentioned plenty. And this other one that I haven't mentioned, the 10th oil, which is Ice Blue. It's like a natural tiger balm or deep heat, and fantastic for those growing pains, the shin splints, the after-school exercise activities that are all starting back up again at this time of year as well. This oil is fantastic to use on sore muscles and sore joints. So that's the 10 oils, and they come in a kit. And it's a really simple thing to be able to decide on, because they either come in big bottles or little bottles. So the big bottles are these 15 ml size, and you get 10 oils plus the diffuser and a wholesale membership, which means any oils, any of the other ones that you've heard about, like the In Tune or like the Balance oil, you can add to that. You can get those down the track at a wholesale price, which is a 25% discount off the retail price. So you get the 10 oils and a diffuser for $330, which is a really great value. You save $120 on buying them individually. So they package them together as those top 10 is a fantastic way to do it. And I really highly recommend that. It's my favorite kit by far. The second option, or the little bottles, comes in 5 ml bottles. So they're this size, and I'll show you in comparison. Okay, so you've got like the difference is 250 drops to like 85 drops. So that's the way that they work. And you can get these 10 oils by themselves in a nice little kit, and that's $174. So they're 2 options that I really highly recommend for people that are looking to get started with essential oils, because it just gives you, if you've got one oil and you're buying lavender because you think it'll help with sleep, I'm telling you, it will help with sleep. It will be fantastic, but you might only keep that in the bedroom to use for sleep, when you can also be using it to ease anxious feelings, to be able to address sunburn, ant bites, mosquito bites. It's great for burns. It can be really good for calming emotions as well as physical, like rashes and things like that. But if you've just got that one oil, you won't think to use it. Whereas if you've got a little toolkit of them, then you know that you've always got something that is going to be helpful for what you're dealing with. So I hope that's encouraging, hope that's inspiring, hope it gives you something to think about. If you are interested in getting started with these oils, then drop me a message and I can help you work out which is the best kit or the best way to get started for you that's going to address your needs. Because if it's not particularly suited to you, then it's not going to be as effective as it could be, or you might not feel confident using them. So we want to make sure it's targeted, that it's helpful, and that it's going to be of really big value to you. So I'd love you to drop me a message. You can have a look at my website. It's www.mydoterra.com, and then it's /Kate Thompson. And so you can have a look there as well. But let me know how I can help you. If you have already got a whole lot of oils, you might have found a few that you can get, a few extra ones that you can get now. And that would be really good too, to be able to know that it's inspiring for that. If you need help with ordering new oils, then let me know as well, and I can help you with that, because the first time you do it can be a little bit confusing, but once you're onto it, you'll love the convenience of being able to order them and have them delivered to your own home. I know that when we get the box at our house, the kids are loving opening it and smelling the new oils and popping the bubble wrap that everything comes in. So it's a great convenient way to do things. And honestly, it's cost effective too, because I'm replacing a lot of things that I used to buy in the store with things that I'm getting through doTERRA. So it's a great option. Hope this has been helpful. I'd love to hear your feedback. So please send me a message or leave a comment, and I will chat with you all soon with our next topic. And we've got Valentine's Day coming up. So I'd love to touch base and do a little video on what oils are helpful for, or can be a little bit inspiring and nice to use around Valentine's Day. Thanks for your time. Again, I'm Kate with Quitting the Quick Fix, and you can check me out at my Facebook page or join our Facebook group, which is QTQF Oilers, QTQF.Oilers. Just send a request and I'll add you to that group. So I would love to hear from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.